Hi, I'm Tom. If you haven't given kitbashing a go in your Warhammer hobby, then now is the perfect time. The new edition of 40k is finally out, so why not kitbash a special character or leader for your army? For this new edition, I've made a 2000 point Eldar army from Craftworld Ulthwe, and most of the models are kitbashed in it. Check out my previous video. And the figurehead of this army is going to be Eldrad Ulthran. Eldrad is the mightiest of all Psykers in the Craftworld Ulthwe, and potentially the most powerful Psyker of all Aeldari. His lore is so interesting, including him predicting the Horus heresy and trying to warn the Emperor at the time. He is also one of the oldest beings in the 40k universe. I really want to include him in my army, but I don't like the pose of the model or the previous metal one. So why not make my own and try and improve on it?
The base for this kit bash will be a Spirit Seer body that I have left over from my Aeandan army, and the Eldrad model itself. I intend to use the top half of Eldrad and the bottom half of the Spirit Seer, give him a different dynamic pose. I'll also be moving around the weapons and the head. The Spirit Seer pose on the bottom half, in my opinion, is much better than the standard Eldrad. It's got this dynamic pose where it's leaning out into a rock like it's mid-charge. The Spirit Seer will be from the waist downward, just below this white belt. And then with Eldrad's body, I'm going to remove the cloth on the bottom half to make space for the Spirit Seer bottom half. Just imagine a Lego that's in two halves, the legs and the torso. And you can see here from the kit, it's going to be quite easy because the parts aren't attached to each other. So let's get the Spirit Seer built first. Boobity boo. So I've got the Spirit Seer bottom torso built. You can see here there's a ridge where the gun holster would be, and I haven't attached that intentionally. In fact, when kitbashing, it's a good rule of thumb to not glue anything together until it's certain that you want it that way. And here I'm dry fitting the model together, so I'm just seeing what bits are rubbing against each other, does anything need to be removed. And this little satchel on the back needs to be cut off to make the model fit together properly. Use some clippers and then scrape it down with my knife. This is why I like kitbashing, because you feel like a mad scientist doing an experiment. There's no instructions. And you see here the fit is a lot more snug now. I can see from the get-go that this is going to work. So now onto building some more of the top half to see if that fits onto the bottom as well, or if it will get in the way. From me dry fitting, I know that this cloth and loincloth are going to get in the way of the Spirit Seer's legs. So with this bottom half, I want to remove this cloth. So I want to cut around this sort of vessel and rune and the feet, and this tabard on the front, the loincloth, because I might use this. When kitbashing, it's a good idea to be careful and take your time and to damage as few parts as possible because you might need them for other projects. So I'm going to remove this bit here, and I'm slowly cutting away little chunks and removing them so I don't put too much stress on the plastic. And here we go, the loincloth has snapped away smoothly. And then here I'm being very careful around the lantern and rune. Then I smoothed it up with my knife. Carefully cut around this rune so that it was still visible but without extra plastic on the edges of it. And there you go. And then the loincloth, I needed to thin out on the underside because it would get in the way of the Spirit Seer cloak. So I smoothed off the edge, and then I started trimming on the back side and realised I was going to cut the top of my thumb off and then switch to my clippers instead. Once I was happy with this, I've glued it in place using some thin cement. There you go, so that's the front bit there. And you see this wraithbone loincloth is hanging down, and I did test to see if I could fit the original loincloth in as well. I think it's going to be too much in the way and add too much thickness to the top half. And here's me again dry fitting using a bit of pink tack to hold the pieces in place. I've come to the conclusion here that the loincloth is not necessary. I just need this wraithbone. And I can tuck this satchel under the cloak as well. Now I know this piece fits, I'm going to build the rest of the Eldrad parts. And again, I'm test fitting to see if it fits or if I need to remove any more of the Spirit Seer body. Here we go, it's fitting together almost perfectly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move around some of the weapons and combine the two bases. So the feet on the Spirit Seer don't fit the base on Eldrad. So all I'm going to do is add it on top of the Eldrad base, add a bit of height to it. And the reason height is important if you're playing in tournaments, people can complain that you've modeled it for advantage, i.e. it's not as high as it should be. So this one is higher than it's supposed to be because I've added to the base and his staff is still held high in his left hand. Profile of the model is about the same. Add the staff into the left hand, and then in the right hand I'm going to add this shuriken pistol, which I'm not certain I'm going to keep. I might switch it out to have a warlock hand in it instead, but for the minute I think this looks good. The angle on the wrist isn't right, so I had to trim a little bit off before I glued it in place, and it now fits flush. And that is pretty much the kit bash done. Once I was happy with the final poses, I glued all of it together. Here's the sort of hand I might acquire from one of the Warlock kits and add that onto Eldrad. And then maybe I could kitbash some lightning coming out of the end of its hand. This is a simple paint scheme. It's not finished yet, but this is the sort of style my army is going to be in. And here is the army. I've got 3 Seer Council, 12 Skyrunners, some Guardians, some Falcons, and a Wave Serpent, and a Wraithlord. This is the sort of paint scheme I'm going for. Black, grey, gold and red, and a bit of pink. And this is the custom Wraithseer that I've kitbashed and did a test paint scheme on. So, let me know what you think of it in the comments. What would you do differently with it? Would you use the pistol or would you do outreached hand instead? What do you want to kitbash yourself for your army? Let me know in the comments.
In my next video, I'll be showing you how I painted the entire army. If you want to support my channel further, please watch some of my other videos. That's one of the best things you can do to help. I also have affiliate links in the description below to Element Games, where you get discounted Warhammer and hobby supplies. And if you want to support me further, I have a Patreon. By supporting me on Patreon, you get to see behind the scenes of me making all these wonderful creations, and you also get access to my Discord server. And thank you to my current Patreon supporters, you're absolute legends. Thanks for watching, bye bye.